How's it going everyone, J-Star here and welcome back to another Pokémon Horizons episode review. In case you missed last week's episode, make sure you check it out. We had the introduction of a brand new character known as Dot. We also find out this Dot has been Needlethink all along, so make sure you check that episode out. My voice might seem a bit odd throughout this episode, but I'm dealing with hay fever, but I still need to make these videos, so I'm pushing through it. But if I sound like I need to cough or I'm losing my voice, you now know why. Without further ado, let's jump to today's episode review. The episode opens up with the group arriving in the Paldea region. It turns out I've been saying Paldea wrong the entire time. I've been saying Paldea, but no, it's not Paldea, it is Paldea. So I'm sorry about that, but I will make sure I'll do it right going forward. Liko overhears the other members of the Rising Volt Tacklers planning to leave Liko in the Paldea region. If you remember, right away at the beginning, I think episode 1 or 2, we found out the Rising Volt Tacklers were hired by Liko's family to bring her home, and since Liko's home is in the Paldea region, it means their mission is almost complete. Liko, Roy and Professor Frida then head out to deliver Liko to her family, but they want to see some sights in the meantime, so they arrive in Mesagoa Town. I'll tell you what, Mesagoa Town is a lot better than what it is in the games. I've never played the games, but I've heard things about this town and the games and the people that inhabit them, but yeah, very, very busy town, lots of things going on, lots of people everywhere, lots of Pokemon, lots of shops, and pretty much what a town expects to be. Heading through the town, we then head to Liko's house, and can I just say, Liko's giant house, a very, very big house. And they are greeted by a Pokemon known as Fido, and it turns out this Fido belongs to Liko's father, who we then get to meet, and his name is Alex. Fido seems a very, very happy Pokemon. It's getting close to Liko, it's rubbing against her, it's playing with Roy and Coco, and this doesn't make Sprigatito very, very happy. And I think Sprigatito is a little bit jealous of Fido. Sprigatito then goes into a sort of little bit of a mood, so it stops listening to Liko, starts hiding from everyone, doesn't want to be around or talk to anybody. Liko's then had some time to think about the fact that she's going to be leaving the Rising Volt Tacklers and staying with her family in the Paldea region, not seeing any of the Pokemon, any of the friends that she's met along the way. And she doesn't really like that. So she goes into a little bit mood as well. She tells her dad that, well, if you're busy and mum's not here, then I'm going back to the airship. And you know what, Sprigatito? You can stay here with my dad. During the nighttime, Sprigatito and Fido bond and they start to become a little bit more of friends. Well, on the other side of the Rising Volt Tacklers airship, Liko is having hard trouble sleeping as she is getting worried about leaving everyone and staying with her family. In the morning, Liko decides to head off on her own to go and buy some coffee beans and a cake for her dad. On the way to her house, Liko is attacked by a Lechonk, and Sprigatito kind of senses this and jumps in at the last minute to save her. We then arrive at Liko's house, and Liko convinces her dad to stay with the Rising Volt Tacklers as she wants to go on many adventures, and it's just like her grandmother wanted, to do lots of adventures with the pendant. Liko's dad agrees with this statement and lets her stay with the Rising Volt Tacklers. And then at the end of the episode, we then hear that there has been a rare sighting of a Pokemon in a different town, and the group seems to think that this is the black shiny Rayquaza, and that's where the episode ended. So there we go, another episode done, and it was an okay episode. I think the only point I want to talk about is Liko's father, and the fact that he is what a dad should be. Worried about his daughter, worried what she's going to be getting up to, and where's she going to be going, is she going to be safe, is she going to be okay on her own, and things like that. And I really liked his character in this, and I also agree with the statement that he wants her to stay with the Rising Volt Tacklers, because to be honest, if Amethio and the Explorers came knocking at the door, I don't know how much Fido is going to do to protect them all. So I think the rating I'm going to give this episode is a 7 out of 10. Nothing major happened, but it was still a pretty good episode. I mean, we got the introduction of Liko's dad, Alex, and a Fido, but that's basically about it. I think that's where I'm going to end this episode off. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know if you want me to continue these. Comment down below in the comment section if you want to ask any questions. And finally, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with the next one.